I died on a Tuesday. At least, that's what they told everyone. Friends cried, family gathered, plans were made. But by Saturday, I was sitting quietly at my own funeral, watching people mourn a version of me that didn't exist, and listening closely as the truth began to slip. They said it was a terrible accident, brake failure. The car lost control, then burst into flames. They said the fire was so bad, there was nothing left to recognize, just a body they claimed was mine. But everything happened too fast. The reports, the arrangements, the silence, no proper identification, no one allowed to see the body, just a closed casket and instructions to move on. Since the news, people said my mother has stopped speaking, stopped eating, stopped responding. They thought grief had taken her mind. Welcome to the Afro Tales with Kemi, where African stories are told slowly, honestly, and with meaning. So sit back, open your heart, and walk with me through today's tale, told as always, the African way. I am Kemi Iwales. My mother never came out of her room after the news broke. In our culture, a Yoruba mother does not attend her child's funeral. It is forbidden. So everyone assumed she was inside, grieving, broken, silent. But what they didn't know was that sometime before dawn, she slipped out through the back door and found her way to the church because something inside her refused to accept what they were saying. Because the truth is, I didn't die. I woke up in a quiet hospital room, far from the noise, weak, broken, but alive. And the first thing I felt wasn't relief, it was fear. I remember that night too clearly. The road was empty, the air was still. Then suddenly, the brakes stopped responding. Panic took over. And just before the crash, I heard a voice I knew. When I woke up, I had a choice. Go back and pretend nothing happened, or stay dead and find out who wanted me gone. So I chose silence. I chose to disappear and watch. I covered my face, hid my scars, and walked into my own funeral like a stranger. No one noticed. No one looked twice. Because the dead are not expected to return. I watched them cry, heard prayers, felt the heaviness in the room. But something was wrong. Not all tears were real. Some people were grieving, others were performing. My husband Kunle sat near the front, calm, composed, too composed. No tears, no shaking. Just a man who looked like a burden had been lifted. My best friend, Ifoma, cried louder than anyone. But she never looked at the coffin. Not once. And that told me everything before I even knew the truth. Then I heard them, a whisper, tucked away in a quiet corner, urgent, angry, careless. The kind of conversation you only have when you think no one is listening. You said she wouldn't survive. that one sentence was enough. My heart stopped again. Not from fear this time, but from understanding. It was all there. The betrayal, the lies, the planning, an affair hidden behind my trust, insurance money waiting to be claimed, and a carefully arranged accident meant to end me quietly. But the truth didn't end there, because as I stared at that coffin, one question kept rising. If I was alive, then who were they burying? I wasn't the only one asking questions. An investigator had already started digging, quietly, patiently, following threads they thought were buried. And that was when I knew it was time. Not to hide, not to run, but to return, not as a victim, but as a proof. When I removed my veil, the room froze. Every whisper died. Every excuse vanished. Because the woman they buried was standing right in front of them. Alive, watching, knowing. The truth came out faster than they could hide it. Voices trembled, lies collapsed. And before they could run, the police stepped in. Hands were held, not in comfort, but in cuffs. As they were led away, my mother stepped forward from the crowd. Gasps filled the room. A Yoruba woman, a Yoruba mother, standing at her child's funeral. Some whispered she had lost her mind. But she looked at them, steady, unshaken, and said, I did not come to bury my daughter. I came because my spirit refused the lie. They planned my silence. They arranged my ending. They thought they had buried me without questions. But the truth has a way of breathing even inside a coffin. I didn't die that night. I woke up, and in the end, they didn't just lose me. They lost everything.
When the drum speaks, Africa remembers. When stories rise, hearts awaken. Afro tales we rise, we tell, we